Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the season finale of Invincible. So this is the end of season 2. So it takes place right where the last episode ended, which was Nordstrom? Nordstrom. Nordstrom. Now I'm questioning it. Anyway, the brain guy, holding Debbie and Oliver hostage. So Invincible goes flying through, gets into the home, and that's when Nerdstrom basically goes, "You're not going anywhere, or else I'm going to make your family disappear." So his whole goal is basically to kill Invincible, which leads to one of the weirdest, but also coolest fight scenes that I have ever, or sequences that I've ever seen. So basically, the fight is just a lot of dialogue. Basically, Nordstrom basically baiting Invincible to attack him. Every time he does, he opens up a portal. So during all of this, we see multiple universes. So we've seen some we've already seen before, which is the Destruction Planet. We've also seen, um, apparently, Sentinel dinosaurs where they could talk, and apparently in a world where Homo sapiens were basically creatures that were stupid and were able to easily be manipulated by the dinosaurs. So that's something. Then we also had several others as well with a zombie universe, which I thought was kind of cool. We saw a few others. We saw Batman, and the rumor being that maybe Invincible made it into Fortnite because after he comes out of one of the portals, he comes out with not shotgun, a sniper rifle that has a flame skin on it, which looks very similar to the one that is out there in Fortnite now. We also see him deal with Spider-Man, which is hilarious because it's voiced by the actor who voices Spider-Man in, I believe, the Spectacular Spider-Man and the Ultimate Spider-Man, I believe. So we have that going on. But one of the bigger things here is the fact that we get to see all that. But he makes a point to explain to Invincible that, like, hey, like I've dealt with a lot of interdimensional travel lately. Like, you have no idea. And the two of them are fighting a, how do I want to phrase this? A Doctor Octopus variant. And it's kind of funny watching them fight it. So then we finally go back and forth. We see Debbie trying to hold her own against Nordstrom. She cuts him. He breaks her arm. He threatens to kill Oliver. And that's when, after all of this, including seeing Batman, Mark snaps. And he finally goes full on against Nordstrom. And in fact, we actually see the two of them fighting each other because apparently he went to multiple universes to try to build his body strong enough to be able to take out Invincible. And that was his thought process on the whole thing, was to wear Mark down enough so he could beat him up himself with his bare hands. And that's when they get sent to a vacant universe and the two of them begin to fight. And Mark is losing. I mean, he's getting a couple of hits in, but realistically, he's losing. And so we have that going on. And then the weird thing is, he finally snaps because he keeps talking about how he's going to kill Debbie, his mother, and kill um, Oliver. I apologize. I froze for a second. That was weird. So anyway, the two of them, he was going to kill the two of them and make sure that it was painful as possible. And that's when Mark loses it. When Mark loses it. He bashes Lundstrom's body to smithereens and punches his head in until there's nothing more than a, well, gray matter mush. Now, before the the dimensional portals happened, or at least this last one happened, we got some information from Landstrom, specifically with Debbie. Apparently, Debbie was a part of being with Invincible and Omni Man taking over the world, that she was all for it. And she said, "There's no way of that. I wouldn't do such a thing," and that he's just mad because Mark is the only good Invincible out there in the multiverse. And that's when Lundstrom kind of snaps. And then we go back to Mark bashing his brains. So one of the key things here is we don't see Lindstrom dead, but we're pretty. Let me rephrase it this way: we're 1,000% sure he's dead, and we don't see it. I think for a reason because Mark is destroyed by it because he realizes he snapped. He turned into his dad basically and killed him, and is pretty much going crazy by himself. He's going around the planet trying to see if he can find anybody. He's unsuccessful, and that's when the Guardians of Earth make it to the planet, and they're a lot older. They're 20 years older. Um, and they explained to Mark that it took them 20 years to build the technology strong enough to be able to go interdimensionally, and that they're glad that he's all right. But they're bringing him back to his world and his time because he would not like the world that was left 20 years later. Before he goes, Eve explains to him that, hey, tell Eve that, you either love her or you don't because she feels like she loves you more than anything else, and you being gone was the worst thing ever. So he goes to the portal. We now find out that Robot was not Robot, and it was apparently Rex, explaining that, oh, shoot, I guess we messed up the timeline. And they all kind of just like, oh, well. And they go back to their business. A lot of things to unpack there, though. We don't know what's happened. I'm assuming the Viltrumites have taken over in some sort of capacity, or at least attempted to, and that it wasn't pretty. So we'll have to wait and see to know for sure. Let's go back. So Mark comes back. He realizes his mother's hurt. Oliver's safe. He then realizes he's not. He's his father, and he's basically losing his mind. Cecil has to explain to him like, "Hey, like you did what you had to do. When the good guy's alive and the bad guy's dead, you've done the right thing. Like you're not the bad person in this situation." That being said, Invincible is not thrilled to be hearing that for obvious reasons. So he then decides to just say, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm done with it all. And they try to have a normal life back home where Mark is quitting being not being a hero, but quitting being going to school because he really needs to get himself ready for the Viltrumites coming back to Earth. Debbie's kind of against it, but realistically, she loses that fight pretty quickly. But she understands. So it's Debbie, Mark, and um, Oliver all living together, along with the nanny helping out. So we have all this going on, with Cecil trying to help out as much as he can. That is the end of that part of the episode. So we move on to the Viltrumites prison base, where we see Omni-Man, aka Nolan, earning his stripes back to be crowned ready to go for his execution, which is phenomenal, I guess. So we have that going on. So he's deciding to go through that, and he's now ready to be executed. Well, they decide to beat him up some more because, why not? And they beat him up some more and basically bruise him. So while he's walking back to his prison cell, he sees Alan the alien, and the two of them begin to talk. Alan basically explains to him, once they're back in their cell, that, hey, we need to work together and actually defeat the Viltrumites. And he's kind of like, well, I've kind of lost that fight already. There's no point in trying again. So that's when Alan the alien is like, hey, we need to work together and actually do something. Like, you feeling bad about destroying races and stuff like that and planets, that's how everyone else feels about this, and you should be working with them to try to stop it from happening. Now, we don't get to see a prison break like I thought we were going to at the season finale, but it looks like that might be the season premiere of 3. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, thought this was a great episode. Was not as good as season 1 in my opinion, but still a phenomenal show. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.